Hey y'all, as you can see, I am outside. It is gorgeous. I am hoping that you can hear me because my backyard is 470. So as soon as I get done, I'll make sure that I go in and play this. And if the audio is bad, then I'll just re-record it. But I wanted to get to chapter 5 of A Rose for Emily today. Hope everybody had a great weekend and a good Monday. I wanted to give you Monday to get caught up. We've got just 2 more chapters to our story. And make sure that you get your notes out because there's going to be some other things for you to either highlight or make sure that you put in your notes. Miss Emily, when we left off, if you'll remember, she had gone to the drugstore to purchase some arsenic. And remember, she thinks that she is above everybody else. And so she doesn't need to tell the druggist what her poison is for. Everybody assumed that after she purchased it, the smell went away and this and that and the other. So, they're assuming that maybe it was a dead animal or something like that. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to start right here with Miss Emily. It says, Miss Emily just stared at him, her head tilted back in order to look him in the eye, look him eye for eye until he looked away. And went and got the arsenic, and he wrapped it up. The Negro delivery boy brought her the package. The druggist didn't come back. And when she opened the package at home, there was written on the box, under the skull and bones, for rats. So the next day, we all said, she's going to kill herself. And we said that it would probably be the best thing. When she had first begun to be seen with Homer Barron, we had said, she's going to marry him. And then we said, she will persuade him yet, because Homer himself had remarked that he liked men, and it was well known that he drank with the younger men in the Elks Club, and that he was not a marrying man. So we just found out a great big important tidbit about Homer Barron. The townspeople said, surely she's going to marry Homer, even though she shouldn't, because he's a Yankee and a blue collar guy. But then they heard that Homer was gay and liked men and that he liked to drink and this and that and the other. So the townspeople thought, well, surely she'll just persuade him then to go ahead and marry her. Later, the townspeople said, poor Emily, behind the jalousies as they passed on Sunday afternoon in the glittering buggy. Miss Emily with her head high and Homer Barron with his hat cocked and a cigar in his teeth, reins and a whip, and a yellow glove. Then some of the ladies began to say that it was a disgrace to the town and a bad example to the young people that she's hanging out with Homer Barron. The men did not want to interfere, but at last the ladies forced the Baptist minister, Miss Emily's people were Episcopal, to call upon her. He would never divulge what happened during that interview, but he refused to go back to her house. The next Sunday, they again drove about the streets, and the following day, the minister's wife wrote to Miss Emily's relations in Alabama. Remember, she had a relation in Alabama, and they didn't really want to have anything to do with her. So finally, obviously, the minister went and called on her, and he never said what happened, but he never went back. So something fishy must be up. So she had bloodkin under her roof again, and we sat back to watch all of the developments. At first, nothing happened. And then we were sure that they were to be married, she and Homer. We learned that Miss Emily had been to the jeweler's and ordered a man's toiletry set in silver with the letters HB on each piece. 2 days later, we learned that she had bought a complete outfit of men's clothing, including a nightshirt, and we said, they are married. We were really glad. And we were glad because the 2 female cousins were even more Grierson than Miss Emily had ever been. So obviously they were glad that they had left town because they were even more snotty than Miss Emily was. So definitely the townspeople think that she and Homer are married because she went and bought a toiletry set, had his initials engraved on him. Then she went and bought a suit, and a nightshirt that he would sleep in. And so definitely they thought that she would be married. I'm going to go ahead and take the dogs inside, and I'll meet you guys back in there in just a minute. Okay, we are back inside. Boy, howdy, I didn't realize how bright it was out there. I had to give my eyes a second. All righty. So she had Bloodkin under her roof again, and we sat back to watch the developments. Oh, I already read that part. They are married. We were glad, and then we were really glad that her relatives left. So here we are. So we were not surprised when Homer Barron, the streets had already been finished for some time since, he was gone. We were a little disappointed that there was not a public blowing off, like a breaking up, but we believed that he had gone on to prepare for Miss Emily's coming, or to give her a chance to get rid of the cousins. By that time, it was a cobble, it was a mess, and we were all Miss Emily's allies to help circumvent to get the cousins out. Sure enough, after another week, the cousins departed, and we had expected all along, within 3 days of Homer Barron, he was back in town. A neighbor saw the Negro man and met him at the kitchen door at dusk one evening. Okay, so Homer Barron left. The streets had been paved. He just left. Now, the townspeople thought that he was going to prepare a home for Emily, and that Emily was going to move up north with him. Gosh darn it, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Woo! The life of 4 dogs. I don't remember where I left off. I was talking about, the towns. Dakota, no. Again, I don't know where I left off. Anyway, the townspeople joined Miss Emily to try and get her cousins out of town because they didn't want her there. Homer Barron left. Townspeople thought that he was going to prepare a place up north for Miss Emily, but then he came back. So now Homer's back. And that was the last time, the last that we saw of Homer Barron. And it was the last that we saw of Miss Emily for some time as well. The Negro man went in and out with a market basket, but the front door remained closed. Now and then we would see her at a window for a moment. Remember, they saw her at a window before. Remember that clear up at the story, beginning of the story. Now and then we would see her at a window for a moment, as the men did that night when they sprinkled the lime. But for almost 6 months, she did not appear on the streets. Then we knew that this was to be expected too, as if that quality of her father, which had thwarted her woman's life so many times, had been too virulent and too furious to die. This is a very important paragraph right here. The townspeople are saying that after Homer went in that night when he got back from New York, they never saw him again. And they really didn't ever see Miss Emily either. Toby went to the market. He came in and out, but in and out of the back. The front door always remained closed. They'd see people, the townspeople would see her sitting in a chair, silhouetted. But 6 months, she didn't ever appear. And they mention her father here. And if you remember, what thwarted means, if you thwart something, you keep it away. And they're talking about the fact that her father once, when she was younger, kept all of the men away and never thought that there was anybody good enough for Miss Emily. But here's Homer, and her father had already left. I'm sure she was maybe a little bit frightened that Homer would leave too. But she was, if you wanted companionship and all you ever had was your dad, and then all of a sudden, somebody wanted to be in your life, you'd probably be a little bit scared that they would leave as well. So that's what that paragraph is saying. When we next saw Miss Emily, she had grown fat and her hair was turning gray. During the next few years, it grew grayer and grayer until it attained an even pepper and salt iron gray color when it ceased turning. Up to the day of her death at 74, it was still that vigorous iron gray, like the hair of an active man. Might take note of that. From that time on, her front door remained closed. saved for a period of 6 or 7 years when she was about 40, during which she gave lessons in china painting. So see how Faulkner, the whole story is in a flashback almost, but he keeps going from a flashback to farther back, then ahead, then farther back, then and he just the time frame of the story keeps flipping and flopping and flipping and flopping. So now she's about 40, okay? And this is the time that she took china painting lessons. Remember, Faulkner, the narrator, talked about china painting lessons up above, and that nobody had been in her house after china painting lessons. She fitted up a studio in one of the downstairs rooms where the daughters and granddaughters of Colonel Sartorus's contemporaries were sent to her with the same regularity and in the same spirit that they were sent to church on Sundays, with a 25-cent piece for the collection plate. Meanwhile, her taxes had been remitted. Then the newer generation became the backbone and the spirit of the town, and the painting pupils grew up and they fell away, and they did not send their children to her with boxes of colors and tedious brushes and pictures cut from the ladies' magazines. So her front door closed upon the last one and remained closed for good. When the town got free postal delivery, Miss Emily alone refused to let them fasten the metal numbers above her door and attach a mailbox to it. She would not listen to them. Daily, monthly, yearly, we watched the Negro grow grayer and more stooped over, going in and out with a market basket. And each December we sent her a tax notice, which would be returned by the post office a week later, unclaimed. Now and then we would see her in one of the downstairs windows. She had eventually shut up the top floor of the house, like the carven torso of an idol in a niche, looking or not looking at us. We could never tell which. Now and then we would see her in one of the downstairs windows. She had evidently shut up the top floor of the house. So they used to see her in the top floor of the house. Now they're seeing her in the bottom floor of the house because she had evidently shut up the top floor of her house. Thus she passed from generation to generation, dear, inescapable, impervious, tranquil, and perverse. And so she died. Fell ill in the house filled with dust and shadows, with only a doddering Negro man to wait on her. We did not even know that she was sick. We had long since given up trying to get any information from the Negro man. He talked to no one, probably not even to her, for his voice had grown harsh and rusty as from disuse. She died in one of the downstairs rooms, in a heavy walnut bed with a curtain, her gray head propped on a pillow, yellow and moldy with age and lack of sunlight. Hold on just a second. Okay, so that is chapter 5. Was that chapter 5? No, chapter 4? I don't even remember where we're at. 4? 4? Yes, chapter 4. And tomorrow we'll finish it up. I hope y'all are paying attention because there's going to be a hefty assignment that goes along with the story. So anyway, if you have any questions about anything that's going on, make sure that you put them in the forums section of Google Classroom for questions. There are questions in every single class. One of your classmates has asked some kind of question, and they're good questions. If I were you, I'd go check it out. All right. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I will be here tomorrow. And I'm thinking that I might set up a Zoom for the last chapter, okay, that we might do on Thursday. So plan on that. And again, I'll record it. So if you can't be there, then that's okay. But it'll be for all of the junior class that I have. So let me know if you have any questions, post them in the forum, and hope you guys are having a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, be healthy, get out and enjoy the sunshine. It's a beautiful day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.